What's up, guys, and welcome back to Planet Zoo. Pardon me, but I just had to start your day off with some cuteness here. We have got a baby polar bear in the zoo. We've actually got a couple of them. So I think they were born like an episode or two ago. We never really paid attention to them, never really gave them the spotlight. I figured we could start off with a cute little intro here and just kind of see what they're up to, and it fits the theme for today's episode. So we are over here in the Arctic section of the zoo, and that's because we've got some new roommates moving in. Ooh, look at this. We just went from cute to murderous. We're just tearing meat right off the bones, eating livers and all the other good stuff on this little meat plank here. But yeah, we've got a new roommate moving into the Arctic section of the zoo. We are going to be adding reindeer today, which I know are a little bit weird, but I'm hoping it's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I don't want to make you guys sad here, but we are starting to kind of run out of animals to add to the zoo. So if we take a look at our Zoopedia here, I mean, there are some we have left, like the Arctic wolf, and then I think there's a timber wolf. We probably won't do both of those. We'll probably do one of the two, so let me know what you guys think. We've got some other ones in here that we haven't done yet. I've got like a list of the ones I definitely want to do, but when you look through here, most of the major animals that we really want to hit, we've hit. There are little ones like, I mean, we've got gharials, but those are very similar to crocodiles. They're going to have a similar habitat, so like, would it make sense to make another one? Probably not. There's also little like, just little animals like the nyala, the okapi, stuff like that. I mean, these guys are cute, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know how interesting it would be to make an exhibit for them. You know what I mean? So like in terms of like the major players, the big hype animals, we've hit most of them. We've got a few left, but we've hit most of them. So that's why we're kind of digging a little bit deeper here. Reindeer, I feel like are going to be kind of interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Looks like we've got low welfare in our cheetah, low social for stress. Oh, he'll be fine. Bakari, I'm sure you'll work that out. But anyway, yeah, so reindeer here. I don't know. Like I kind of feel like there's probably not going to be a whole lot we can do for terrain, but we're going to try our best, and we're just going to kind of see what happens. So let's see what we're working with here. Now, I've already got the reindeer purchased. You guys can see we've got 1 male and up to 11 females, so that's going to be a pretty big herd there. If we take a look at our animals, take a look at our storage, and sort it by the reindeer, you guys can see we've got Ingolard here, kind of an interesting name. He's not bad. He's got some pretty good, you know, rating to him, and the genetics aren't bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. And then we've got 4 other females all around his age. So we've got, this female's actually pretty good. This one's a little bit better. This one's not as good, and then this one gets worse as we go on. So bunch of suitable mates here. Hopefully we're going to be able to get some nice babies out of this, and I guess we'll see what happens. So let's go back to their Zoopedia. Looks like they want they're going to want 370 square meters of land, which is actually very, very small. They don't need water, they don't need climbing, they need it to be really cold, of course, and they need a grade 2 fence of 1.5 meters or more. So honestly, that's not very tall. So they need a small and not very intense setup here, which is going to be kind of nice, at least from like a spectator's perspective. You know, one of our guests in the park, they're going to be able to get a nice close-up, good view of them. So this should be interesting. Of course, they like the taiga and tundra biomes, and they're from up there in the north. So it looks good to me. I mean, they live to be about 17 years old. They mature at 5 years. They have 1 offspring per event and 12 months in between. All right, looks pretty good to me. So we're gonna head on back over to our Arctic area. I'm thinking we're gonna put these guys next to our snow leopards, and let's get a little exhibit going. So I think we're just going to kind of butt this up against the snow leopard habitat, and you guys can see we've got a little step path coming off the back side here. We're going to have a nice little entry point for a gate, and the one thing I kind of want to build this around is a really fun kind of like little hut for them, hard shelter, whatever you would call it, kind of a stable, I guess. I don't really know. What is a reindeer? They're kind of like horses. Do they live in a stable? I'm not sure. So anyway, if we take a look at our blueprints, I found this on the Steam Workshop. So I didn't make this, obviously. Somebody else did, somebody much more talented than I. But check this out. We've got a Santa's reindeer stable here, and it's honestly even more impressive inside. So I think I want to kind of build our habitat around this. Now, obviously, this thing is really huge, so it's going to take up most of our space, and we just kind of want to center it, I think. I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be a weird one. I'm not really sure what to do with reindeer. They're kind of an odd animal that we haven't really dealt with yet. So I'm thinking I'm thinking if we do something like that, it might be kind of nice. I'm gonna go right there, and basically that's gonna be smack dab in the center of our habitat, and then we're gonna make some little hills and rocks and maybe a little stream or something. I have no idea, but check this out, dude. Look at, we've got the actual reindeer names. Are you kidding me? Oh, that is beautiful. And when they go in there, we, depending on where they lay, we'll at least know which ones are which. You know what I mean? So there is our little stable. And now, like I said, I think we're just gonna kind of make that the centerpiece of our exhibit. We don't want to make it too big because these are kind of a little bit smaller of an animal. They're a little bit more timid. We want our people to be able to get nice and up close and be able to see them. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to our barriers, and we're gonna get to working on these fences. Get a nice little top-down view here. Increase the length a bit. Make sure we're going straight. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. Maybe go a little bit further out. I don't want to make it too small, but I also don't want to make it too big. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a delicate balance to be had here. So I'm gonna go like that, and then we're gonna cut it hard right at 90 degrees. We're gonna bring it around this way. This is still gonna be a really, really big exhibit, that's for sure. Probably reduce this a little bit, bring it back up this way to our pathway. Then we're gonna be able to bring it all the way back across and link it up right like that. All right, looking pretty good. Now, the thing is we want people to be able to see, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring both of these around like this, and we're gonna reduce this to the what's it called? Was it 1.5 or something? I'm gonna assume it's somewhere around there. It's not giving us the actual reading right now, so we gotta be careful. We probably wanna raise this up a bit. Probably want to raise all of these up a bit because we don't want our snow leopards to get out. Oh shoot. Okay, this is a problem. There we go. Something like that looks a little bit better. All right, so that way the leopards can't get out because those guys like to climb and jump and stuff. So yeah, I mean I feel like this is kind of cute. You know what I mean? Like there's not as much free roaming space, but I don't think you really want that with this animal. So this should be interesting here. Now we obviously need to we want to expand this path a little bit. So we're gonna want this is the 10-meter width, right? So we're gonna go 10 meters. We're gonna expand it out this way. Let's just keep it going just like so. And I just realized that this is kind of off here. It's kind of a little crooked. We gotta fix that. Get this right up against that. Hopefully we're gonna be able to link it. Yes, we can. Beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna bring it over this way. Just run it right along that edge. Keep it nice and even. And then we can link it back up here. Boom. That's looking a lot nicer there. Okay, cool. So we've, like I said, we're expanding this path, and then I say we have another little smaller path coming off of it. So we're gonna drop this back down to our 5-meter path, and basically just kind of set this up to split in between our reindeer and potentially another exhibit that we might have over on the right. So we're just gonna kind of bring it along the outside like this, and that is gonna suffice for now. We could probably bring it around the backside. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's bring it around the backside. To be honest, I'm not sure where that's gonna lead, though. We may have to kind of move people off to the left, because obviously this is a staff area over here, so we don't want them getting too close. Also, we've got a weird space here, so I think what we're gonna do to solve that is we'll just we'll move this fence over a bit. Connect this here. All right, looks good. Now we can throw in a nice little habitat wooden gate, wooden barrier on the back side. Let's just line this up just like so. Then we can grab our staff path. Gonna be able to connect that, and all of a sudden we have a beautiful new habitat. And they needed what, like 350 square meters? This is gonna be a little bit bigger at 5,000. Yeah, they've got more room than they bargained for here. Looks like this could be centered a little bit better. Oh shoot. All right, well, I guess the backside's just gonna be a little bit bigger. We aren't gonna be able to easily move that, and we're in too deep. Okay, cool. So that's the start. Obviously, one of the major things we're gonna have to do right off the bat is we're gonna have to get some coolers. We're gonna want coolers all over this thing, and we're gonna have to set them to max AC. So I'm gonna go ahead and set, I guess we'll set one here, we'll set one in the middle, and we'll set one on the side. So that should cover that pretty well. We're definitely gonna want one here. Ooh, this might actually work out pretty nicely, where we can just have like a solid 9 all throughout. Put one in the middle, put one up here. There might be small areas that we're gonna have to fix. It's hard because there's circles and not squares. But then if we set one in here, ooh, set one in here just like that. That should be pretty good, but the problem is we're gonna have to set all these. I'm gonna say let's bring them down to 0 degrees. Oh, they're already on 0. Perfect. Okay, that's exactly where we want them. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that play for a second. We're gonna start bringing the temperature down, and I guess we could start. Let's start bringing these guys in. Animals will fight due to overcrowding in our Galapagos tortoise habitat. What does a turtle fight look like? Or tortoise fight, I'm sorry. Turtle, tortoise, very different. But seriously, what does a tortoise fight look like? What are we gonna do? Just like snap at each? Oh, it's happening right here. It's happening. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. And not a lot is happening. Oh, he takes a bite, but he misses. And he's very slow on the recoil. Oh, now they're gonna... Okay, I feel bad for laughing here. We're gonna fix the overpopulation problem, but that is honestly, that's just kind of funny. So we're gonna take a look at our Galapagos giant tortoises here, and let's see what we got going on. So it looks like all these young adults that were just added in. I'm gonna leave the adults. I'm gonna leave the infants, but we just need to look at maturity. Anybody who's a young adult has got to go. So let's just release these guys to the wild. We'll take 284 conservation credits for it, and that's gonna make our tortoises happy again. Ooh, we've also got some overcrowding in the aardvarks too, so we're gonna have to get rid of the newly created adult. Couldn't think of the word. Newly weaned adult, I guess. 1.8 years old. All right, so let's. I mean, I'm down to release the wild. You know what I mean? We might be able to get a little bit more money if we put it up on the auction, but at the same time, we're trying to repopulate the wilderness. I don't think aardvarks are really endangered, like even at all whatsoever. Let me check. Yeah, they're under least concern, but hey, we're still gonna feel good about ourselves. So it looks like we do have some spots where the snow is melting here. This is, like I said, it's the unfortunate part of having coolers that are circles instead of squares. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna put more coolers in these areas, and we're just gonna make their range a little bit smaller, and that should cover up those weird spots where we have a bit of heat. So I'm just gonna throw these basically in all the little cracks and crevices where we're missing the coldness. It's gonna kind of run our electricity bill up a little bit, but overall I think it's gonna be worth it, and it's gonna make it look a little bit better that once we paint that snow in there, it actually ends up staying. Oh, first reindeer coming right up. Take a look. Let's see them. I've got a feeling, yeah, they're pretty small. I don't know why in my head I always thought that reindeer would be pretty tall. I guess maybe I was thinking kind of like elk and moose and stuff like that. But as it turns out, they are pretty small, which is why they need a fairly small living space and habitat space and stuff like that. But these guys are cute, I'm not gonna lie, and I love our little Christmas trees and stuff. One thing I noticed with this barn, or stalls, or whatever you want to call it, is I believe we have aren't there should be TVs. Okay, they're right here. So they've got TVs in here. Doesn't have any power. I don't know why we have TVs on indoors for the reindeer. Oh, I think this is for people to walk up to it. Oh, dude, that's so sick. I don't know how that works though. Like, if we grab a wooden barrier, can we kind of put it like this and connect it? I don't know if they're gonna be okay with this. I don't know if this is gonna count as like a habitat being open. Let me see what happens here. Let me delete this real quick. Is that gonna say animals escaped? It's not. Interesting. So let me delete this. Dude, this is way cooler than I thought it was gonna be. Now we're gonna go into our paths. Let's bring a little path here. It doesn't have to be very wide. I guess we could actually make it pretty wide. Might be kind of interesting. We're gonna do an 8-meter path straight down the middle into the habitat here to bring people in here. I don't know if people are actually gonna follow this or not, but it's a cool idea regardless. Trying to get it perfectly centered. All right, so are people gonna end up going in there is the question. Go in there and be able to see Santa's reindeer. One of them's already in here. You gonna pick a stall, bro? What's your name? Asteri? We're gonna change your name once you pick a place to lay down. But anyway, all right. So far, looking pretty good. It's a cute habitat. We've got some work to do though. You know what I mean? Like we definitely need some. We need some more here. I'm gonna get one of our good vets on the research. We've got to start looking for different enrichment items and stuff like that, and let's see what these guys like, what they think, that sort of thing. So heart shelter's good. Terrain is already good. They just like all snow. All right, sounds good to me. I guess we have quite a bit of rock, which they like, but mainly all snow. Environment, they can deal with up to 100% coverage. Obviously, we're gonna put a lot of like spruce trees and pines and stuff like that in here. Enrichment is not looking very good. Everything else, I mean, these are the easiest things in the world, dude. We haven't done anything to this. It's just a barn and a flat area, and they're at 84% happiness. If we add a little bit of enrichment, we're probably going to be at 100%. So let's come in here. We're going to take a look at the reindeer species. And, dude, this, I mean, we could just throw them in here and be like, all right, you're good. Have fun. Let me delete this. Let me see what we've got going on for enrichment items. So, yeah, we've got a grab ball, which I'm going to throw over here. We've got a large ball, which I'll put over on the other side, maybe like over here. Rubbing pillar I'll put here to get them close to people. We've got a little skittle. We could put a barrel feeder back here. We could throw snowballs, of course. Probably want at least a couple of snowballs, so we'll throw some snowballs in there. Grazer feeder we'll put over in this corner. And, I mean, another grazing ball we could put over here. Boom, look at that. I'm pretty sure after that, they're going to be at 100%. They are happy. We're done. That's the episode. Thanks for watching. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's get into nature and see what we can work with here. It looks like we're starting to lose some sunlight. Shoot, it's already the end of the day. Okay, so we're going to pause it, and we're going to add some nice stuff here. So we've got spruce trees. I'm going to throw in some spruces. Now, the problem is a lot of these trees are super, super tall, and you don't want to, what's it called? You don't want to lose sight of these guys. You don't want to block off people from being able to see them. So I'm going to put 3 spruces together right there. We've got some other little spruces, which we're going to be able to throw in randomly. I'm going to mainly put these in the corners. That way it kind of keeps them out of the corners where it's a little bit warmer. And at the same time, it doesn't block too much of people's views. Ooh, here's kind of a nice big one. We could throw, shoot, see, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to block the view too much. We could throw something like this here is kind of nice. What else do we have? We've got a bunch of dead pines and stuff. Those aren't necessarily pretty, but I guess they're kind of cool. We've got fir pines. These wouldn't be bad because they're kind of tall. So they don't block your view, and they just kind of add a little fanciness to it. Throw those in the corner. I mean, we could make like one really heavily forested area, but again, at the same time, like I don't want to get too crazy with the trees and end up losing sight of these guys. So throw a bunch around like that. I mean, I want them to have trees though. Like obviously they like coverage. So that, I mean, that's not looking bad. We can just kind of fill up the corners a bit. So like that's a nice healthy corner of trees right there. All right, so we're starting to look a little bit better. Are these ornaments? Are those lights? Are they glowing? It's a festive spruce. It kind of almost looks like they're glowing, does it not? That's pretty cool. We've got little ferns we could put down, so we could kind of throw these. Ooh, I don't want it up top. I kind of want them on the bottom. We could kind of throw these around just to give it a little bit more. I mean, I don't want this to be like a barren, snowy landscape, but I also don't just want to throw down a bunch of trees. So I'm going to throw some ferns down under a lot of the trees just to give it a little bit of depth. What we could have done is put a tree on every cooler, but I feel like that could have potentially been a lot, to be honest. So we're going to hang back on that idea for now, but all right. That gives it a little bit more there. What else do we have? I mean, it's really just all trees. All just different types of trees, which I could appreciate, but again, at the same time, I don't want to get too crazy. I don't want to take away from what we already have set up. Is that thing is floating. We need to move that down on the ground. Not sure how that thing got up there, but we'll go ahead and leave it like that. But yeah, back to our nature. I mean, we've got like dwarf corneals are kind of interesting. We could even throw some of these in like this. Kind of run them along this front entrance here. Might look kind of nice. I guess we don't really need them on this side because you can't really see it, but We'll put it there anyway. Probably run it along the whole outside just to give, again, a little bit more depth. Take away from the simplicity a bit. Trees are making it easy because we don't even have to finish some of these because they're blocking it so much you can't even see it. So we'll put some in like that, and then one more over on this side. Looks good to me. All right. I mean, we've got more pines. I like all the options. I'm not gonna lie. It is pretty interesting. It does add quite a bit. We've got a lot of verticality here. These sage bushes are pretty cool that we can add to the underbrush a bit, you know, just to make it look a little bit more real. Obviously, in a real scenario, you'd see tons of little bushes and stuff growing under these trees. So we can just kind of make it look a little bit more wild, I guess. Untamed, you know what I mean? These guys are not Santa's reindeer, even though it says it on their barn. They're wild. They're unhinged. They're crazy. No, they aren't really. But we're gonna pretend like they are. I mean, to be honest, I can't really think. Ooh, these are kind of interesting. I haven't seen these before, so we could add these in little spots. Nothing too crazy, but I can't really think of anything else that we can add. I mean, obviously we can go as crazy as we want or as normal as we want, but I feel like this is kind of a pretty setup. You know, obviously this is the main centerpiece, and I feel bad that we didn't make it. There was no way I was going to be able to make something like that. But you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like this is a really good-looking habitat as it is. Habitats become merged and are invalid. Remove excess walls or gates to add a split. What are you talking about? I'm just gonna do a test here. I'm gonna be really sad if this has to be done. But let me grab our barriers. I'm gonna close this off and see what happens. So let me go ahead and shut this off like this. That fixes the issue. Okay. Shoot. If we clip this fence through the wall and then do the same thing on the other side and bring it in here like this and then connect these two like this, is that gonna give us what we want? It's not letting me center it here. It's making me choose either the right or the left side. I don't know. The game's being weird about something here, so we're gonna give it a shot here and hope for the best. It's only letting me make this weird path that comes in from the left a little bit, but I think that should work. I don't know. The game's weird about something in this area, but I think as long as I don't have another issue, it looks like that is going to end up working out for us. Let's go. I don't mean to alarm you guys, but we're about to have some baby pandas. Oh, there's one of them right there. We had one that's currently pregnant, about to give birth. I think it might be happening right now. This one right here. What's her name? That's Mai Ying. But it looks like we already had some other baby pandas too, so that's good. We spent a lot of conservation credits on our pandas, and the fact that we're breeding, let me check our genetics here. Not great, but not bad. I mean, pandas are hard. They're really rare in this game, so as long as we're producing, I mean, that's a little bit better than nothing. Also, this is what she gave birth to. I don't think that's a baby panda. Are we gonna have one? Come on, come on, give it to me. How old is this guy? Oh, there it is! Just popped up. Ooh, some pretty good genetics right there. 100% fertility, 83% immunity, and honestly, 50 and 58% for the other two aren't too shabby. So looks like we've got some hungry animals and stuff. I'm gonna call some keepers over to our gorillas, and I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow once we're back with the reindeer. A new dawn is rising, and unfortunately, I didn't notice that any of our reindeer had slept last night. Let me get inside of our thing here. I don't think anybody is actually in the stalls, so yeah, we don't know who's who yet. I'm gonna rename them as we figure out who sleeps in what stall. But one thing I realized is we actually don't have. Oh shoot, we've got 13 upset animals. What's happening here? Cheetahs, social or bad. They're a little bit stressed. Polar bears have bad temperature, but that's just because the game's weird. It's messed up. Gemsbach are stressed over, I don't know what. I don't know why everybody's stressed right now. doesn't really make sense. But yeah, one thing I realized with our reindeer is we didn't set up any food or water for these guys, which is obviously going to be a pretty big deal. So wherever our gate is, let's just go ahead and we're going to grab food and water. Super simple for them. So we'll do a large food trough. We'll do a water dish on the other side. And nothing crazy, but obviously very important when it comes to their welfare. So bam, there you guys have it. I mean, kind of a simple build here. I knew it was going to be a little bit smaller. I knew it was going to be a little bit simpler. These guys don't need much. They don't need water. They don't really like much. They don't climb. They don't do anything. They just kind of meander around and graze and maybe play with a couple of toys, but overall they're pretty simple guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, we are getting towards the end here in terms of animals, but we've got a few exciting ones coming up that I've been saving for the end. So I'll see you guys in our next episode. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and peace out, guys.